What city is massively underrated? I was not expecting Krakow to be one of the highlights on my trip to Europe. I loved Krakow. Wouldn't have thought to go there, but my friend married someone from Katowice, so checked it out on the way. Great place, and Polish people certainly know how to have a good time at a wedding. Belfast, Northern Ireland. People still think it's the 1980s with Jerry Adams. Masked bandits doing street patrols. Uniformed police beating up Catholics. Murals everywhere and a car bomb parked on every street corner. That is basically all gone now. Apart from the usual marching season and a few dodgy suburbs you'd best keep away from. Most normal people aren't that bothered, and the city center is really good. Seriously good, friendly people. Clean and beautiful city. Great vibe. Stellar entertainment and nightlife. Awash with culture and history. Houses and property are also dirt cheap. Belfast is an awesome city. Kanazawa, Japan. It has the charms of Kyoto without the overcrowdedness that Kyoto suffers from during peak tourist seasons. Japan is cheating. Japan has so many cities outside of the usual Tokyo, Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's been 6 years since we sailed away and I just made Halifax yesterday. Savannah, Georgia. Absolutely stunning architecture, not overcrowded, rich history, and you can drink beer on the streets. I'm gonna be that guy. The riverfront is filthy and smells like piss. The college kids are obnoxious assholes. Was a Lyft driver for a bit. It's too hot and humid to enjoy 2/3 RDS of the year. And there is nothing to do but drink. Eat average seafood. North Haverbrook. Their monorail is amazing. I hear their monorail is awfully loud. Pripyat, Ukraine. It's so quiet and not overcrowded. Not great. Louisville, KY. I hate it here. But I have to admit it's a pretty big city with a lot of shootin' stuff. The people here aren't all sister fricking rednecks. I mean, some of them aren't. I just wish people didn't pronounce Louisville like they have a mouthful of peanut butter. Louisville, St. Petersburg, Russia. Everyone I know travel to Moscow, but St. Petersburg is the best by far. Most beautiful place I have been. Agreed. I was there for the World Cup and it was a great experience. A bit crowded but seemed like a lot to do with a ton of friendly people. Would go back. Plovdiv, Bulgaria, not a small city, actually a big one. But it has so much in it, and also it has 8,000 years old history. I've said that I was gonna go to Sofia soon. Didn't know that Plovdiv is that nice. Probably gonna go there first. Madison, Wisconsin. I was only there for a day but everyone was super nice. The city was incredibly clean. There was plenty to do. And the scenery was amazing. I think you and I went to a different Madison. Pittsburgh. It still has the industrial wasteland reputation, but it's beautiful now. And has a diverse economy. TBH, Pittsburgh is my dream city to move to. One of the things I really like is that a lot of the older houses on the market have kept some of the original features. Like stained glass windows and carved molding. Down south, Asahikawa, Japan, has a much less crowded snow festival than Sapporo, and the snow is so beautiful. Plus, a really cool zoo. Quebec City, rich history, also the second French city founded after Port Royal, not overcrowded. Close to a lot of services. Only about a 2 to 3 hours drive to Montreal. And then there's Lévis, where you can get the best view of Quebec City, but nobody gives a damn about this city. Burlington, VT. Not so much because it isn't highly rated, because it is, but more so because so few people ever actually go there. I live downtown Burlington. Underrated by other Australians. But my city of Adelaide. Beautiful wine regions. Nice beaches. Great nature, walking trails in the hills and boutique eateries. Great nature reserves. All within about an hour drive. Come during festival season and the art scene is insane. Stay more than a week or so you might start to struggle. But a lovely stop on an Australian trip. People just focus on the murders. I was about to reply that it's been at least a decade since we've had a serial killer. I thought I'd better just check the news before saying that. As far as near where I'm from, I really like Providence, RI, for some reason. All of the TV news in Providence is about southern New England because Rhode Island is too small a place to find enough stories to fill a news hour. Guatemala City. Everybody's like, oh man, wait till you get to Antigua. But Antigua is like Disneyland, and Guatemala City is a fascinating, interesting, real, gritty place full of amazing stories. If you talk to a local in Antigua, they're like, give me money gringo. Da nang. It's changed a lot from what it looks like in all those Vietnam War movies, Copenhagen or Oslo during Christmas. As an American, it feels like how Christmas should be. It's the opposite of the over-commercialized plastic Christmas we get. Lisbon, Portugal's capital. To me it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I honestly enjoyed Porto more. Edinburgh, Scotland. Edinburgh local here struggle to see how is it an underrated city? Vienna is the most romantic city I've ever visited. I have no doubt it's lovely. Nelson, B.C., Canada. Mountain city of about 10,000 people with an awesome ski hill 20 minutes away. Mountain biking all around. Shambhala Music Festival is held nearby. Hippie heaven. Old York in England is legit. Asheville, North Carolina. I only spent an afternoon there, but I immediately fell in love and look forward to going back. It's absolutely gorgeous with the mountains all around the town, and my first impressions of the culture and people was overwhelmingly positive. Also, I'm absolutely biased on this one, but I love living in Madison, WI. Just about every weekend from May through October, there's tons of free outdoor live music, ranging from small local bands on the patio of a bar all the way up to the world's largest Bratfest attracting musicians from all around the country. We have some beautiful nature tucked away right in the city, and it's easy to get out and see it because Madison is one of the most bike-friendly cities in the country. The State University's flagship campus brings something for sports fans to see here, like attending a college football game. With downtown Madison built right between two lakes, there are plenty of opportunities to rent a kayak or paddleboard to get out on the water, and there are a few great museums around town as well. Perhaps the best part about Madison, though, is the location. It's only a 2-hour drive from Chicago, even less from Milwaukee. Hell, it won't even be hard to come down here for a weekend on the tail end of a trip to the Twin Cities. Yes, I live here, and that certainly skews my perspective. But with how easily accessible Madison is from 3 more major cities, I really do think it's worth a detour to spend a long weekend here. Asheville, yes. Busan, Korea. Seoul gets a majority of the attention, but it is such a one-track city. If you've seen one or two areas, you've seen them all. But Busan has a more interesting mix of cultures due to its proximity to Japan and trade routes. You get a different feeling in all the different areas of the city, and it has some really amazing sights. The subway system is also designed much better. The only thing I dislike about it is the bus drivers. They are freaking mental. More so than in any other major Korean city. Pittsburgh. Great sports, art, music, scenery, food, and it's a pretty affordable place. And if you go to the surrounding areas, there's even more stuff for you to do. Basically any Eastern European cities. My top pick Bratislava. Milwaukee is a fine town. It's a good land. Glad to see Pittsburgh mentioned a lot. I'm gonna go with Columbus. Then. Columbus. Oh. Brought to you by Nationwide. My top 3 underrated in the USA are Kansas City, Indianapolis, and Milwaukee. I've been to 48/50 states, so I've been to most major US cities. Of ones that aren't talked about too much, these are my favorites. A bit too late to the party, but Hamburg, Germany is underrated. Too many tourists visiting Germany, skipping the second largest German city, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I'm biased because I grew up in Michigan, and we could only ever afford in-state travels. But it is an absolute beauty the second you get to Mackinac and beyond. Sault Ste. Marie is my favorite city up there, and if I could ever bear through the snow, I would live there in a heartbeat. Dildo, Newfoundland, home of Tom Brady. Manchester, UK. It's not as underrated as some of the examples given here, but I don't think it's praised as much as it should be. The nightlife is good from what I've heard, since I'm more of an introvert lol. In saying that, there's a variety of libraries, coffee stores, restaurants, shops etc. in just the city center. You're also not far from great hiking trails and are also relatively well connected to other parts of the UK. Brisbane, a city big enough to have everything you want, but not overwhelming. Different parts bring a different vibe. South Bank is the place to chill with a beer and a BBQ. Fortitude if you want more nightlife, and Roma Spring Hill for a cross between the two. You've got great spots up and down the river. It's affordable and you're only short drives from the Gold Coast or the Sunshine Coast. Warmer than Melbourne or Sydney but not too humid either. Not too humid? I nearly died last time I went to Brisbane. It is a great city though. Kansas City, Missouri. Casey Joe's barbecue forever. Rigger. It's pretty small for a capital city so you can easily explore it all on foot. The city center is completely pedestrianized and in the squares are just a series of open-air bars. Great history and architecture to boot. Vilnius, Lithuania. Lithuania is beautiful. Went to Kaunas a few months ago. Buffalo, NY. Such a cool park-based city. Love the waterfront. Cleveland. There is a lot to do there and around the area. Cleveland rocks. Scrolled too far to see this. Detroit. Oslo. Pittsburgh, PA. It's a little city with a big heart. Lots of small neighborhoods and nooks and crannies. You could basically walk across downtown in 30 minutes. So much history. And when you come through the tunnels and see our skyline, it's literally breathtaking. First time I came through the tunnel I was blown away. Such a beautiful city. I wasn't prepared for it. Chicago. Relieved face. St. Paul, Minnesota. It's horribly overshadowed by its bigger and more important twin. Dusseldorf. An incredible city. And Altstadt is magical. Brno, Czech Republic. Smaller than Prague. Way less touristy but with very cool condensed center of the city and solid public transport system. Lot of American companies that are hiring. Lot of IT jobs. Great food and culture in 2 hours drive from 3 different European capitals. Prague, Vienna, Bratislava. Most of the visitors just touch down in Prague and if they go out of it, it's usually just Kutná Hora or Český Krumlov, both great, but rather over touristy.